Ontario Premier Doug Ford is raising alarm bells that the province is going to run out of the protective masks for frontline workers in 1 week. Now, he made that comment first thing to City News this morning after a critical shipment was stopped by the U.S. at the border yesterday. Now, shortly after, the Premier's office confirmed that the shipment had been released and 500,000 masks were on their way to Canada. But that, the Premier says, will only buy the province 1 more week.
This is all that's on my mind. I don't sleep at night thinking about these PPEs.
Facing worldwide demand, PPEs, or personal protective equipment for frontline healthcare workers, is in short supply. The situation became even more critical when U.S. President Donald Trump last week ordered suppliers to stop exporting them, something Premier Doug Ford harshly criticized on Saturday.
I can tell you, Canadians wouldn't do that.
But a lot of behind-the-scenes negotiating has been going on. Ford himself says he's been speaking with the U.S. ambassador, telling him the situation is desperate. And Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland has also been working the political channels.
We have been working throughout the weekend very, very hard with our American neighbors to ensure that medical supplies can continue to flow across the Canada-U.S. border. It is really a wild west when it comes to buying medical supplies right now. This is a global pandemic.
The 500,000 masks that have just been released for shipment to Canada is just a temporary fix that will only buy Ontario another week. Premier Doug Ford says a Woodbridge company has been approved to make the N95 masks, but that will take time. He also says he's trying to get shipments from China. If that fails, other measures may have to be taken.
What Quebec is doing right now, they're sanitizing and reusing the masks. They're reusing them 4 or 5 times. We aren't at that point yet. We're thinking about, but we haven't done it yet.
Now, the Premier also acknowledges one of the key ways to fight COVID-19 is through testing and more testing. However, Ontario has the lowest per capita testing rate of any province in the country. It's half of Quebec's. He says part of the problem is Ontario doesn't have enough reagent, a critical material used for the testing. And one more note from his news conference today. Doug Ford is again pleading with everyone to stay home to avoid straining the healthcare system. He says he knows he's urged people to get exercise in the past, but if a jogger is running and sneezes, someone walking behind could step in the particles and take COVID-19 home with him. He says that is how it spread. So he's suggesting instead of going to the boardwalk or a park, walk in your less crowded neighborhood.